Good morning, y'all. It's your man Earl. Day 110 on the calendar, April 19th, early Sunday morning. Just got done with a brisk walk. Not that far. Just went outside for a little bit, get a little vitamin D, sunlight, and we're here getting ready to get breakfast started and then take off for service. Hope all is well. We are now here once again, day 110. Federal self-quarantine, day 34. And we've been talking about talent the last 3 days. Really excited about the series Talent. Really great information the Most High God gave me, and I wanted to give that to you guys. Nevertheless, we had some questions and some phone calls about talent and about very key information about, okay, what about the last 2 or 3 years, 5 years that I've been just doing stuff that I know I shouldn't have been doing. So what do I do with all that information and experience? And I thought I thought about it and I prayed about it, and the Lord showed me Gideon. And so today's meditation is recycle, upcycle information and experience. Recycle, upcycle information and experience. Now, the text today is Gideon, Judges chapter 6, which is the story about Gideon. He was a judge. And it's very interesting. Of course, we know the book of Judges talks about how the Israelites obeyed God. Everything was cool. Disobeyed God. They fell into oppression. So they would be like 7 years of good, 12 years of bad, 5 years of good, 12 years of bad. I mean, just all different kinds of stuff. And that's all made up. I'm paraphrasing, but the bottom line is, okay, for example, Gideon chapter 6, Gideon chapter 6, verse 1 says the Israelites did evil in the eyes of the Lord, and for 7 years he gave them into the hands of the Midianites. Okay, so they had 7 years of oppression. Okay, but if you read the whole book of Judges, you'll find that there were seasons and years of obedience and seasons and years of peace and oppression, and then it would be oppression, then it would go back to being peace. But the point I'm getting at is today's lesson is, what did Gideon do specifically? And here's what's interesting. This is chapter 6 now. Verse 25. That same night the Lord said to him, take the second bull from your father's herd, and one 7 years old, tear down your father's altar to Baal, and cut it down the Asheroth pole beside it. Then build a proper kind of altar to the Lord your God on top of this height, using the wood of the Asheroth pole that you cut down, and offer the second bull as a burnt offering. So Gideon took 10 of his servants and did as the Lord told him. But because he was afraid of this family and the townspeople, he did it at night rather than in the daytime. Now, that's a separate subject. If you look at 27, but it gives you an insight into when you make drastic changes in your life, you're going to have to deal with the fear of how other people view you, but that's a separate subject. All right. We want to stick with 26 and 25. God tells Gideon, tear down the altars at the Asheroth pole and tear down the altar of Baal. And then he tells Gideon, use the same material that your father used to build an idol or an altar to Baal, and use the same wood that they used to worship someone else, the Asheroth pole. And he tells Gideon, now use the same material and build a proper altar. So today's lesson is this. You're going to have to learn how to use the same material that you gathered over the years, information, knowledge, whether it be in a totally different field. And this is the recycling, right? So first of all, understand that what you did is valuable. May not be necessarily productive, but it's valuable, all right? Because information is valuable. What makes it valuable is how you apply it and how you use it. So the first piece to understanding recycle, upcycle, knowledge and information is understanding that you do have something that is valuable. Okay. And the first piece is when you recycle your information, you got to turn what you wasted into a reusable product. Now, what do we mean by that? Okay. You have a wine bottle. All right. You collect the wine bottle, or you do pop cans, right? So you take the glass to a recycling plant. You take the aluminum cans to a recycling plant. And what do? They crush the glass down, then they melt the glass down, and then they simply use the same glass that you returned, and they make another wine bottle. That's called recycling. Means all you're doing is not losing what you gave to the plant, right? You gave an old wine bottle, they took it, crushed it down, made a new wine bottle out of it. Nothing necessarily gained, nothing necessarily lost. All right. That's recycling. So a lot of us have information that we should be recycling, right? But now here's the next mature step. When you find out what your talents are, then you have to learn how to upcycle that same information. Meaning you have the same wine bottle, same aluminum. Okay. So you take that wine bottle, take that aluminum, and you take it to the plant. And then all of a sudden now you cut the top off that wine bottle. Okay. And you smooth the edges down. And then you turn the bottom of that wine bottle into a custom drinking glass, because the bottom of that glass has a design on it, right? Most wine bottles have some sort of a unique glass design or cut. And so now you have a unique item. You can say it again. You have a unique item that you took, that it was glass, and instead of crushing it, you cut the top off it, which, by the way, you still can take the top of that glass and give it back to the recycling plant. But then you save the bottom part. And what you upcycle the bottom part. Because when you upcycle something, is you take waste from recycling and you turn that waste into a material that is of better quality and of stronger value. Okay? Upcycling is the creative process of turning recycled materials or unwanted materials into a stronger and better quality of product. And so when you come out of your 6 years of not doing what you talented at, tell me what you're good at. Now, when you start to become and understand your talents, you want to start taking what you quote unquote would simply recycle, and now you got to upcycle it. So turn what you used to do, raw information, raw resources, and you upcycle that. Now you're going to start using it in your talent scale sets. And this is where you become more productive, more proficient, more profitable, because you are using the same amount of information that you used to do consistently and live at a certain level. But now you're simply going to upcycle it, which means you're going to take that same information and learn how to make it more valuable and build it into a better quality material. Okay. It's your man Earl, day 110 on the calendar, FSQ 34, Sunday morning. Getting it in. Recycle, upcycle resources and information. God bless you. God keep you. We'll see you. Have a good day.